Parkinson will hold at just past the 35-yard line. Pete Gogolaki's had problems. He's 1 for 6 this year. And it's good. From the 36-yard line, Pete Gogolak hits. And with timeout, the score is the Giants 3, the Cowboys 3.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe leave a comment below or possibly share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just anyway, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. All right, so here we are, guys. Week 9, the week before the bye week, right? Maybe we can, the first half of the season, maybe we can end on a bright note. Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, if we could be 3-6, I know that's absolutely unbelievable, ungodly pathetic, but it's better than 2-7. So let's see if we can end on a bright note here. Go into the bye week, maybe get some guys back, maybe Saquon. Maybe you can have Saquon on the field for maybe 2 or 3 games. Wouldn't that be unbelievable? Maybe we can get like Shepard back and Kenny Galladay, healthy and all our weapons on it. Maybe we can get, remember Andrew Thomas, remember that guy left tackle? Maybe we can get him back, maybe protecting the blind side. Wouldn't that be amazing? Help the offensive line out. They're going into the second half of the season with a full arsenal of weapons and the offensive line at least a little bit better with Andrew Thomas. Wouldn't that be nice? If we were 3-6, the last 8 games, we got some winnable games. It's possibly along the line. We could, the last 8 games, if the Giants remain healthy, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, I know, yada, 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 all that stuff. But the Giants could go once again like they did last year, like 5-3. Got to play the Eagles twice. Got to play the Bears. They got to play the Dolphins. They got to play the Washington football team. They got to play the Chargers, who don't seem to look maybe quite as amazing as they did in first, in the beginning of the season. They look beatable. Got to play the Bucs. Got to play the Cowboys, who are starting getting a little banged up. CeeDee Lamb, banged up. Dak, a little banged up. So sometimes it's not who you play, it's when you play them. If they're banged up and we're not, and it's kind of like a little revenge game, who knows? Anything possible can happen, guys. So, if things go the Giants' way, if all the bad things that happened to the Giants in the first half, if all of that went to the positive side in the second half, the Giants could, I could see 5-3, possibly 4-4 at the absolute worst. But then that would once again present a problem to Mr. Mara. It's like, well, we stunk in the first half, but in the second half we would, we wanted, we were at least a 500 team. That would present him some problems. But anyway, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants. CBS Sports, they had a little article going on. They do it every week, showing like the injury report. Okay, and what they did, they had 13 games, which pretty much the Sunday games and the Monday night game, and it's just the way the Giants' luck is going. Okay, so there's 13 games between Sunday and Monday night, 26 teams. Out of those 26 teams, 2 of the teams, right, on this CBS article had no injuries. 2 teams, no injuries. The Atlanta Falcons were one of them. Who would the other team be? You got it. The Las Vegas Raiders. They have, on this article, no injuries to report. Nobody questionable, nobody out, nobody this, no that. Clean bill of health. Just like I think it was when the Giants played the Rams. I think the Rams didn't have, Giants had like 300 guys questionable, injured, this, that, out, blah, 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 blah. Rams had nobody. Everybody was healthy. There's guys got little dings and, this and that, but nobody listed on the injury report. Same thing here with the Raiders. Also, the Raiders have just come off of a bye, too. They played 2 weeks ago. They beat up on the Eagles. Yes. Frickin' hate the Eagles. So they had 2 weeks, to get everybody kind of back and healthy and all that and everything. So they have nobody on their list as far as injuries. So it's just the Giants' luck, you know. But at least the Giants are home, okay? The Raiders got to come all week from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and sometimes that doesn't always work out well for a West Coast team, okay? The Giants, okay, obviously we got Saquon, he's out. Lorenzo Carter, he's out. His ankle. We got Nate Ebner, he's out. His ankle, all right? Dante Pettis, he's on the injury reserve. Sterling Shepard, he's out. Gary Brightwell, he's out he's on the COVID protocol, so so we had to sign somebody to take his place more in just a minute. Then we got questionable. We got John Ross, he's got a quad, and Kenny Galladay with his knee. They're both questionable, but it looks like, today it looks like for what I'm saying, I'm trying to read as much as I can and all. Looks like Kenny Galladay, is gonna go. Now I'm not 100% sure because the game's not for like about another 5 hours. But as far as what I'm saying, he's gonna play. But so then we got John Ross. He's questionable. But I mean, I'm not seeing Kadarius Toney anywhere. Okay, he had a thumb injury from Monday night, but he's been practicing catching balls. Okay, I don't see nothing with an ankle or hamstring or nothing. So hopefully he can be on the field. Evan Ingram, I don't see anything with a calf. Thank you. Darius Slayton, nothing with like a hamstring or nothing. So hopefully we can have Darius Slayton. We can have Evan Ingram out there. We got Kyle Rudolph out there. Kadarius Toney out there. Hopefully maybe we can get Kenny Galladay out there. Okay. So but hopefully Daniel Jones can have some weapons to throw the ball to, because that's going to be huge in this game. Then we got Devontae Booker. Okay. Last year he played. He came into the league with the Broncos, but last year he was with the Raiders. So, this ain't no revenge game for him or nothing, but he wants to show his I'm sure this game means a little something to him, and if he can go out there and have a good game like he did on Monday night against the Chiefs, he had over 100 yards total offense. I think it was like 60 yards rushing and 65 yards receiving. That's what the Giants got him for. I mean, he can run the ball and receive, and he'll have an opportunity to do that as well this week coming up. Now the Giants, okay, they activated Trent Harris, okay, and from the practice squad, and I love the guy's name, Pharaoh, and the return specialist, Pharaoh Cooper, okay, off the practice squad. Since the Giants, I mean, they keep losing their return guys. I mean, over the course of the year, they've lost C.J. Board, Jabrill Peppers, Dante Pettis is the latest one that they lost. Okay, so look for Pharaoh Cooper. He's a capable wide receiver. I mean, I don't know, how much of the offense he's going to know. I mean, he's only been on the team for a short period of time. So, I mean, if he goes out and starts running routes, I'm sure, there can't be much that he's going to know about. Okay, but look for him possibly to be in there to be a return specialist. Okay, now he was an All-Pro. Okay, 1 year. All right, so as a return specialist, so he's got that capability there. So I mean, if he's only on a team and only comes in and returns kicks, okay, and I said then we look also, okay, hopefully, right, which would be freaking awesome. Got Ellison Smith. Okay, they activated him. All right, so look for the fourth rounder, Ellison Smith. Hopefully, maybe to make some type of I don't want to say impact, but hopefully just to get the guy on the field. We got Aaron Robinson, okay, our third round pick. He played last week, so we get Ellison Smith in there. Hopefully these guys can, at least see some time on the field and start building up some reps and all and everything, okay, get some experience and everything. And, I can't say it's a lost season already, whatever, but I mean, it's not looking so good. But if you can start getting some feel-good stories in there, I said, like if Ellison Smith looks like he might be able to, produce a little bit. I mean, heck, if you got the guy in the fourth round, and if the guy can stay healthy for a whole season, and he winds up getting you 3 or 4 sacks, I mean, he's going to be a rotational kind of guy and all of that. But I mean, if you got a guy in the fourth round that gets you 4 sacks for a season, maybe gets 1 sack every 4 games, you really can't complain about that. I mean, especially if you have like 3 or 4 edge rushers you depend upon. If you can get him with 4, Azeez can get you X amount or whatever, right? And then you have a couple other edge rushers that can actually, get some sacks, right? If you can get, 15 sacks or so from just your edge rushers, then if you can get some, some sacks from your defensive linemen, I mean, it's better than what they got. I said, because right now with Lorenzo Carter, he has no sacks. All right, Quincy Roche, he has no sacks. The X-Man, he has no sacks. All right, basically the only, Carter Coughlin's out. All right, so like pretty much from like our edge rushers, okay, got Azeez Ojulari is the only one that has a sack. Okay, so so they'll get Ellison Smith in there. He's got the length, he's got the size, the length, and all. So let's see what he can do. I mean, especially he's cheap, 4th rounder. If he can get us some sacks, obviously we're all for that. Okay. And also the Giants, they signed, okay, this is the guy to take, they got Dexter Williams, okay. He's a former Green Bay Packer, all right, on the roster. He's the running back. He's going to be taking Gary Brightwell's spot, okay. Because, we don't have Brightwell, and obviously we don't have Saquon. So we got to find somebody to put on the field, okay. So Dexter Williams, it might be... Might get a rep or two in there. I mean, we just signed him, so he's not going to know much of the offense, so there's probably not a lot he can do. So look for Devontae maybe to get a decent amount of the carries. Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see, right? But, yeah. Hopefully, Brightwell will definitely be back, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer game. That's without a question, all right? And then I said, hopefully Saquon will be back. So that would be great if when we play the Bucs after the bye week. If we have Saquon, we got Devontae, we got Gary Brightwell. That would be huge, right? Now, looking at the Raiders, okay, what I was seeing is that, they on their defense, they use a lot of cover 3, all right? So how like last week, with the Giants, we got Evan Ingram, okay, Kyle Rudolph got touchdowns, all right? Tight ends got touchdowns. That might be huge in this one because you got the Raiders covering like maybe the center of the field and maybe the 2 outside. So maybe the seams could be, I don't want to say wide open, but seam passes from tight ends, maybe an Evan Ingram. That might be open this week, okay? So the Giants, could use some passes, kind of maybe more down the middle or maybe just short passes because the Raiders have a very good pass rush, right? Now, I'm sure the Raiders, they would certainly love to have a great day. The Raiders, okay, they rank 14th, okay, in total defense overall, okay. When I was looking at, I was trying to come up with some stats like with the Raiders. Defensive wise, but a lot of it was just like very in the middle of the pack. I mean, it wasn't like, there's a couple of stats that are a little, one way or the other, but a lot of the stats are like really, really close. I mean, they might be like 20th here and then maybe 12th or 13th there. Just very, very middle of the pack. Nothing really dominant, okay? They don't need to be a dominant defense because they have a very good offense, okay? But so they're just very, very middle of the pack, okay? But they do have a great pass rush, okay? They've only played 7 games because they've had a bye week, all right? So they have 18 sacks, okay, in 7 games, right? So they got, they're averaging like about 2.5 sacks a week. Nothing super spectacular. But it's not even so much the sacks, okay? They lead the NFL in quarterback hits with 61. So that's like about 8.5 quarterback hits a game because they've only played 7 games. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, that's pretty impressive, right? The one thing is they get there with their front 4. They blitz the least amount of any team. They only blitz 10.9% of the time. That's the least amount in the NFL. Okay, but they had the highest pressure rate in the NFL, 42.5%. All right, so basically with their front 4, 2 out of every 5 pass attempts they're getting a pressure, right? 42.5% pressure rate, basically from their front 4. It's very, very good, right? And if you hold the ball too long, they're going to sack you, all right? So they're very, very good with that, all right? But the Raiders, they also have they had the second worst defense in the red zone. So if you can get to the red zone, they're giving up 83% touchdown. Once you get to the 20-yard line, the opposing teams in the first 7 games are scoring a touchdown 83% of the time in the red zone. And that's really good for the Giants because the Giants are kind of struggling in the red zone. I mean, sometimes it'll be 1 out of 3 or maybe 2 out of 3 or something, But, if you're going up against a defense that gives up 83% touchdowns in the red zone, that's good for the Giants, okay? All right, they need all the help they can wind up getting, all right? They're also their 5th worst, okay, in the NFL. They're giving up 131.3 rushing yards per game, okay? That's pretty bad, all right? A lot of it's also because, they have a very good pass rush, and the teams try to take advantage of that by running the ball, right? They're seventh worst in the league, giving up 4.6 yards per rush, okay? So hopefully, the Giants can maybe take advantage of that, all right? But, running the ball, not beating themselves, not throwing interceptions, not getting sacks and fumbling the ball, not taking stupid penalties like Elijah Penny did last week or the X-Man did, jumping offside and negating an interception by Darnay Holmes, okay? So Giants got, I don't want to say they got this game, it's up to them, but, if they can eliminate a lot of that stuff, they'll have a decent chance at winning this ball game. I'm not saying, they're winning this game. I'm not going there. But we go on the offensive side, all right, with Derek Carr, all right? He's completing 68% of his passes, okay? He has 12 touchdowns, only has 5 interceptions, okay? But the Raiders, so far in the 7, they have no lost fumbles. So in 7 games, they only have 5 turnovers. They're doing very, very well there, okay? And they're averaging 324.1 yards per game passing. Phenomenal. Very, very good. I mean, Derek Carr is really doing really good this year. They're getting Josh Jacobs back. Okay, he's making his return, all right, because he was injured, all right. But, of course, now we all know, as what happened a few days ago, there's no Henry Ruggs there, okay? I don't know if Henry Ruggs will ever be on any team, period, in the NFL ever again. But they have no Henry Ruggs. So he's not so much, he's just like he's kind of like a John Ross kind of thing. You put him on the field, he's there. There's the, you know what I mean? It's it's like, I don't want to say Deshaun Jackson, but I mean, Deshaun Jackson is not going to catch 13 passes a game, but if he's on the field, he's there. Henry Ruggs is kind of the same thing. The speed kills, so you have to be aware of that all the time. Now he's not going to be there, okay? So things might change up a little bit. Now they got Hunter Renfrow. Okay, he has 38 catches so far, all right, for 399 yards. He's averaging a little over 10 yards a reception. He only has 2 touchdowns, They get Darren Waller. God, that guy's good. He's got 33 receptions, okay, 378 yards. He's averaging 11.5 yards a reception. He has 2 touchdowns so far, okay? Then you got their one wide receiver, Edwards, all right? He only has 18 catches, okay? But he's kind of like a Ruggs, all right? He has 346 yards receiving and 18 catches, all right? He's averaging 19.2 yards reception. He only has 1 touchdown, but the 19.2, that's what scares you. That's kind of like what Henry Ruggs had. Henry Ruggs had 24 receptions, so he had a little more receptions than Edwards did, okay? But Henry Ruggs had 24 receptions for 469 yards. So Henry Ruggs was averaging 19.5 yards a reception. So those 2 guys averaging almost 20 yards a reception. Okay, so we don't have to worry about Ruggs anymore. Okay, but we've got to obviously still have to keep an eye on Edwards. All right. Now you got, as I said, none of the guys. They have 12 touchdown passes. They're pretty much spaced out. You don't have one guy that has like 8. As I said, Hunter Renfro's got 2, Darren Waller's got 2, Edwards has got 1, Ruggs has got 2. What I mean? Some of the backs have a couple. But they are, one thing they are, okay. I mean, Derek Carr is doing very, very well this year. They're tied for 5th with 8.5 yards per pass attempt. That's really good. If you got 7, a little over 7, which is, I think the Giants are at 7.2. 7, low 7s, that's kind of about average run of the mill. But you're getting over 8, 8.5 to 9 per pass attempt. That's really, really good. All right. Now the Russian, okay, the Russian is really bad. All right. In 7 games, they have 598 yards rushing. They're number 31 overall, 3.5 yards per rush. Not very good. Okay, they're number 29. They average 85.4 yards a game rushing. All right, so they're 29th in the league. So they're not going to beat you with their running game. Okay, they're going to beat you with their passing game. Okay, so you got to, unlike the Giants when going up against obviously certain teams, like with the Cowboys, some teams just are very good at running the ball, and obviously in the past, well, they got to keep things in front of them. Worry obviously more about Derek Carr and the passing game than you do have to run it. If they run and they wind up getting some yards running the ball, so be it. You just can't have them beat you with the passing game. And you got to keep stuff in front of you. Nothing long. If they're going to score a touchdown, let them drive 60, 70, 80 yards. Let them do 10, 11, 12 play drive. I don't want to say dink and dunk, but keep everything in front of you. Let them complete the pass, come up, make the tackle, and then just make them drive all the way down the field. Now, this is one of the games, it's kind of like last week. The Giants, the game, they could have won it. We know what happened. They can't do the same thing this week either. I mean, if they want to win, all right, as I said, they can't have Nate Solder getting knocked on his rear end. It can't be like a turnstile with Daniel Jones where he gets sacked, fumbles the ball, they pick it up and run it back for a touchdown. He can't throw interceptions, stupid penalties and all that stuff. They can't beat themselves. If they can, it's a home game. They got embarrassed last week. They should have won the game. Okay, so now they're coming home, right? Well, we'll have to wait and see. If they're pissed off and all and everything, they can certainly keep this game close. I think the only way they wind up losing by 14 points or it winds up looking embarrassing is if the Giants just go out there and just pretty much beat themselves. But if the Giants play a decent game, okay, good solid defense, all right, put some pride into it, okay, and if Daniel Jones can somehow, Jason Garrett can find him. I'm not saying he's going to be able to find a lot of time passing the ball because that might be asking a bit much, but get maybe have him roll away from pressure, or get him like a 3-step drop and something relatively quick, right? Obviously, try to get Devontae Booker in it. Get some running going there as well if you can, because we don't run the ball very well. But I said, the Giants have a chance. If they wind up winning this game, I won't be surprised. I'll be very happy, but I won't be overly surprised. If they lose this, I won't be overly surprised either. Now, overall, the Raiders hold a 8-5 lead in the series. Now, of course, we all know the last 2 times this team played was in Oakland. It was the Eli Manning, Geno Smith game. Okay, it's the one with Ben McAdoo. Decided to bench Eli Manning and put Geno Smith in there. And of course, the Raiders wound up winning 24-17. Geno Smith had a nice game, but he wasn't the answer. I understood what Ben McAdoo was doing. The Giants weren't going anywhere. They were absolutely horrible. The record was horrible, and he was just trying to change stuff up. The problem was he tried to change stuff up, and he wound up stopping a streak. Okay, and the streak, obviously, if the Giants, I don't want to say had a better record or something, but this season it was a lost cause at that time, and putting Geno Smith in there and stopping the streak. I mean, wrong call, wrong call. Okay, but so the Raiders got 8-5. Let's see if we can wind up maybe winning this one and making it Raiders, where the Raiders won 8 and the Giants win 6. Now, the first time these two teams ever played was in 1973, one of the most vivid games I'll ever remember. Back then, a lot of the games were blacked out, and I lived in Long Island. And what we had to do, we had rabbit ears, and we had an antenna on top of our house, and my dad had like a dial or something, and it would rotate the antenna on top, and we would have to try to get the Giant station in Connecticut. I can't remember what channel it was though. So he would turn on the channel for the Connecticut station, whatever channel the Giants were on up in New York. And because in Connecticut they showed the games, the Giants home game, so we'd have to rotate the antenna, and the Giants game would come in. It would be fuzzy, it'd be kind of tough to see it sometimes, but you could usually want to making out what was going on. But this time the Giants were on the road. It was a 4:00 game. It was in Oakland. It was on TV, and I remember watching this one. And the Raiders beat us 42-0. It was absolutely ungodly. It was so embarrassing. The Raiders scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. And it was all over with after that. I mean, Norm Snead, Randy Johnson, each threw 2 interceptions. It was 1973 was horrible. You think this year was bad? The Giants lost 42-0 to the Raiders. They lost the last game of the season at home. They lost to the Vikings 31-7 in the snow in the Yale Bowl. That was Alex Webster's last game as a head coach. And then they lost on Monday night. For some reason, they decided to put the Giants on Monday Night Football in Los Angeles against the Rams, and the Rams beat us 40-6. So the Giants lost 42-0 in 1973, 42-0, 40-6, and 31-7. They lost 113-13. They got outscored by 100 points in those 3 games. Absolutely, unbelievably pathetic, horrible, horrible season. The Giants, 1973, started off 1-0-1, and they finished 2-11-1. The last 12 games of the season, they won 1 and lost 11. Ungodly, horrible, absolutely. One of the worst embarrassing losses I've ever seen for the Giants was the first game they ever played against the Raiders in 1973 in Oakland, 42-0. But I think the Giants have a decent shot. They got a shot at winning this game if they put their big boy pants on and don't beat themselves, and they take some pride. Giant football, okay, I want to end this first half on a good note in front of the fans, okay? Put the big boy pants on and don't beat themselves. The Giants just might pull out a victory. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!